it starts with you, with me as a leader, and this goes for all business owners, until you as a leader realize that you're a way more effective leader when you take care of yourself first. Go for delegating, like do this, bring it back to me. It's not. It's
Right.
you have the true delegation is setting people up to succeed and then letting them run with it. It helps me think a lot clearer, more as a visionary. I mean, that's a lot of my goal. I've worked so long in the business, and it's taken on those roles. Even events like this, like I would never do this a couple years ago, and the takeaways from something like this is work.
One of my favorite parts about running Ramlin Jackson is seeing how my clients' lives change and grow over time. And today, check out this conversation with Rob Miller. He runs RPM Landscape Contractor, and he's going to share how he has transformed his personal life. He's improved his fitness, how that's improved his finances, and ultimately helped him have better work-life balance that he needs to continue growing his company. Hey, we're at the Ramlin Jackson booth at the SIMA Symposium in Pittsburgh, and I'm here with my client, Rob Miller from RPM Landscape Contractor in Folsom, New Jersey. And Rob, I just kind of wanted to connect on a personal level with you. You look amazing.
Thank you.
You
Thank
look
you.
really healthy.
Yeah.
Not that you were not healthy, but you've just lost a ton of weight,
Yeah.
and I see your updates on LinkedIn, and you're exercising, and you've joined some board at SIMA, and
Yep.
like
Yeah.
you just, I don't know. It's cool to see you in person because we've worked together
Yeah.
remotely for
It's been a while.
like 6 years or
Yeah.
something.
More than that.
And thanks for coming on the
Yeah.
podcast.
Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me.
So yeah, what have you been up to the last few years?
Just a pretty big personal growth journey. I really I hit a breaking point within the business and personal life. I was just working too much. I needed more balance in my life, and it was like October of 2021 where I needed change. So I started eating right, doing working a little less, really looking and reflecting on where I wanted to be in 10 years. And I actually got in touch with Scott Lesak, and we worked together for a little while, helped me on just seeing things in a different light, having that, abundance mindset that I'll throw it in. You got to fill the well. That's what it is. Hashtag fill the well. I don't know. It's been a great journey. My marriage has never been better. Relationship with the boys, it's all more well rounded in it all. It's hard. It's hard to balance it all. We all struggle with balancing work and home. I know you do. You're a business owner, so
Yeah, it's hard.
it is.
How many kids do you have?
Two, 9.5 and 5-year-old, two boys.
Awesome. I have two boys also, and they're 8 and 9, and it's a lot,
Yeah.
and it's the
But
greatest thing. And then you've got to grow the business, take
yep.
care of your family. But if you spend too much time in the business, then your family's out of business, and then I was just talking
It's
with one of my
just
best friends
yep.
about this morning, who's coincidentally here,
Awesome.
and we rode the Pittsburgh. I'm gonna mess up the river name. It was one of the rivers that starts with an
Oh,
M, and it merges with the other river to become
yeah.
the Ohio
Yep,
River.
yep, yep.
It is the
It's like
Ma- Ma-
Mapahonic or something.
yeah,
Yeah,
something
something like
like that.
that.
Anyway, so we rode the incline, and we were talking about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard when and then it's kind of this balancing act of like your
Yep.
family and the business, and then your personal health, and
Yep.
it's this thing. So what have you found? So in the past few years, you've figured something out. I think it's a very meaningful thing to talk about. It's a show about business, but if your health is out of whack and your marriage is out of whack, all these things. So what did you figure out that's working for you that we could share?
Um, I think it starts with you, with me as a leader. We all talk about working in the business or on the business, but until you as a leader, and this goes for all business owners, until you as a leader realize that you're a way more effective leader when you take care of yourself first. Um, that's my biggest takeaway with it. It because if you consistently just focus on the business, and whether it's eating fast food or working 100 hours a week, there's times where you have to do those, not eating fast food, but there's times where you have to work more and more and more, but it's finding that that balance, and I think our dynamic's a little different because my wife Lindsay's very much involved in the business, and I needed more out of her in her role, so I needed to give more to her on the home side. So I started working at home a little bit more. I started taking some of her responsibilities, trying to pick the boys up once a week or twice, thing because I couldn't, it's like the definition of insanity, isn't it? I want somebody to do something more, but I'm not going to give anything back in return. And that was a big point for me. But yeah, I mean, you have to be intentional with it. That's the biggest. That's my most favorite word is truly being intentional with what you're doing. So
I agree. What are you doing on the fitness front when you're talking about taking care of yourself? What are you doing spiritually, physically? What's your life like?
so trying to get in the gym. I actually just got a personal trainer because it's hard, after working all those years, 20 years of, even 25 years, and your mindset is go, 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 get up, go to work. It's that's been a struggle for me, because one thing lacks. If you're focusing more on the fitness, the business is lacking, just like you were saying. So I that's very hard for me, the fitness, but I run a lot more now. I ran 4 times this week. I did 6 miles with Mark Schanneberger the other morning.
Were you at the Simathon?
So Mark, yes, I was, and then Mark and I just dipped off. We had a plan prior to that coming about to run, so we just kind of scooted
Okay,
off.
because I ran the
Yeah, I
Simathon,
saw I saw
and
you.
I
Yep.
thought I saw you there, but I don't know. We weren't running together
Yeah.
necessarily.
Yeah, no, we ended up going across the bridge and up to Hers Island. We didn't run all 6 miles. Mark would have, but I couldn't do it. I'm like, dude, can we stop, please? I got about three and a
Yeah.
half in.
Yeah, so it is hard to focus on the fitness because it's probably during the time that you would have been grinding another hour of work or whatever. Um, have you increased your strength though during this time?
Oh yeah, yep, mentally and physically.
So how has that increased your capacity in the business?
Well, it makes me more intentional with my time. It helps me think a lot clearer, more as a visionary. I mean, that's a lot of my goal. I've worked so long in the business, and it's taking on those roles. Even events like this, like I would never do this a couple years ago, and the takeaways from something like this is work, and these are the things I need to be doing. And I think that through this journey, it's allowed me to see that. And I didn't see that. Oh, I can't. I got too much to do. I can't go spend a week. I mean, I've been here since Sunday. It's been an amazing experience, and I'm taking so much away from it to take back to the business to make it better.
Has it created other opportunities? So one, it sounds like with your wife working with
Mhm.
you, she's taken on some more work. What about has it created? Have you delegated some of those things to other people in the company?
Yep. Yeah. So we just our biggest push has been with software. So that well now that that's all built out, it's allowing me more time to delegate the proper way. I would delegate before, but it was more of like go for delegating, like do this, bring it back to me. It's not. It's
Right.
you have to, the true delegation is setting people up to succeed and then letting them run with it. And I think that so many things. I mean, that's another whole conversation of what all this has helped me with to realize how to be a better leader. I always thought I was a great leader, but I wasn't. You know, and now, and that comes through events like this. That comes through talking to people. That comes through, just the whole gamut of trying to better yourself. 1%. That's all you need. 1% every
Yeah,
day.
one little thing
One
that you
percent.
take away,
1%.
and well, thanks for sharing
Yeah.
this story.
Yep.
It's been cool just seeing
Yeah.
you and your family
Yep.
grow in your
Yes,
business,
I got you.
and I don't know. It's just thanks for
Yeah.
working with me and
Yep.
for sharing this story with us.
We should connect more. So
I
yeah,
agree.
it's gonna be good. So
Um, so what is your vision for the company next? So you've talked about the vision. We've worked
yep.
together for a while. Where are you heading in the future?
So our goal this year is 5.5 million. Now that we're with the software here, I can start focusing on truly where I want to go. But
I think you were around 1 million when we met.
yeah, yep, yep, and a lot of at the 4 to 5 million where we're at, we've been just treading water the last couple of years, and it's hurt us financially because we've gotten the assets and the payments to the 5 million mark, and I just and that was a big push for me through all of it to like, all right, I got to do something here because this isn't working. So that's been a huge hurdle for us getting over that 5 million mark. But the vision as a whole for the company, I'd love to be at at 10 to 15 million, and just having that freedom. I mean, it's all commercial and government work, but I guess as a whole, I'm still figuring out what it looks like, and I think that's a lot.
Well, so I use Traction and the EOS system, and one of the things is we have a 10-year target. Mine's
Yep.
10 million.
Yep.
And I have a 3-year picture of 5 million. And to me, I like the 3-year picture thing. I think sometimes this conversation about vision and where are we heading, like,
It's daunting.
it is daunting because, like, 5 years ago, could you have predicted that there'd be COVID
No,
and
you're right.
shutdowns and
Yep.
like all that? Like, absolutely not. Or like AI,
Yep.
even in the last year,
Yep.
has skyrocketed and changed everything. So I try not to get, I like to have an idea of like what I'm going for, but I found that the 3 year, think 3 years
Yep.
from now
Where am I
is a
gonna
little
be?
more like, okay, I can actually think about 3 years and I can definitely think about a year from now.
Yep.
So that's
Yeah.
how I kind of process through that.
We're actually in the process of rolling out EOS. So
Oh,
we've
cool.
we've messed around with it. I tried self-implementing, it didn't work. So I'd love to talk more with you about that too. So because you guys have been pretty successful with it,
Well,
right?
so we did self-implement it, and I,
Struggle. Struggle.
well, so I'm I'm just
Struggle.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
hard.
Well, so I remember reading the book, and I say this on the show often. Like, I remember reading the book Traction,
Yep.
and I actually read it at a really cool cigar lounge in Chicago,
Nice.
Illinois. I was there because at the time I actually was trying to figure out which industry I wanted to focus
Yep.
on, and I thought for a while that it was going to be the HVAC industry,
Oh, all right. Yeah, yeah.
and puns intended, that show was so cold. Okay, honestly, so this show is very like people are sharing
Yep.
their proposals and they're like giving talks about here's how I estimate jobs and
Yep.
like hey everyone come
It's
like
a
competitors okay come and see like
amazing
it's
industry.
I've never been in an industry like
It's
this
amazing.
where people are like always trying to help each other and help the industry. I didn't have that experience at that show. I just had one client that I really liked that got amazing results, and I'm like, oh well, I'm just gonna go
Yeah.
replicate this client, and they're all gonna be wonderful like this guy, and they weren't. But anyway, so I remember reading that book there at this historic mansion
It's awesome.
cigar lounge, and in the book it said that it typically takes people 3 years to implement this, and I'm
Hmm.
like 3 years, like like I'm gonna get this done this weekend, right? Like, and I remember I printed out the vision traction organizer and I started filling it out, and like it's very it's deceivingly simple. It's like 10 questions or something, and I'm like, this is a one. I'm just gonna go have a cigar and get this done. But the vision, like
Yep.
where are we going and who is my
Yep.
what I now call hell yes customer
Yep.
and stuff like that. It took years to figure out and go and test things and do things. So, anyways, I'm excited that
Yeah.
you're getting started in it.
Yeah, we had started it with an implementer years ago, and it didn't work out. Then I was like, I could do this myself, and then it was, we didn't have the right people in place, on the leadership team, so I kind of it just became more work for me, with all the level 10 meetings, and it fell off. But there's a lot. We're treading water, like I said, on a lot, and
Mm.
it is hard to see what that vision is. I know what it is in my head, but to articulate that, so we did a lot of the work. We did, our ideal customer, we got all our value, so but now it's time to get serious with it, hit it head on, and really try to change this thing. So,
So do you have an operations person who's like all in on helping you do this?
yeah, Kelly, she'll be the point with it. So,
Because that was, I mean, I did self implement it with some key people on
Yeah.
my team. So at the
Yeah,
time,
no, we have the leadership team at this point with Lindsay and Kelly and a few others. It'll
yeah. So I think hiring an implementer is
yeah
great. I have business coaches and
yeah.
people for
It's got to
different
be the
things, and
right person.
you got to have the right person, and you've got to have team buy-in,
Yep.
and you got to me, one of the things that I will share that works is at the beginning of the year we put our quarterly rock planning meetings in the calendar,
Yep.
because like a year goes by real fast, and we're always looking, next week I gotta sell to this client, I gotta put this fire out or whatever. But having those rock meetings in the
Yep.
calendar, and like they can only be moved if they're rescheduled,
Exactly.
and then they happen, and that, to me, winning the 90 days at a time is the
Yep.
habit that
Creates.
I just announced our rocks actually here. So I use video a lot, as I mean, we're making a
Yeah.
video, and I sent a video to my team, and I'm like, here are the rocks, give me your feedback. And then I send out a survey on Google Survey or Google Forms or whatever, and I get feedback from my team. um, so that's kind of how we're doing it. But yeah, we're 7 or 8 years in, and it's a key part of, it's just like part of the DNA of the company.
Yep. Yeah, I'd love to talk more about it because I'm excited. I'm a believer in it. I just haven't been able to gain the traction yet.
Well, what have you done that's working so far?
We literally just started again. It's I got nothing on that right now. So
Okay,
we haven't. We like I said, it was a good year and a half. We were doing our level tens. We spent time figuring out our ideal customer and the VTO. But it just so we're going to be back into it starting in July. So I'd love to
good.
connect and see if you can help us
Absolutely.
with it at all.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, totally. I would say you've got to pick one thing at a time,
yeah,
because like I said, it's deceivingly simple. It's like, oh, I've got mission and core values and vision and level 10, and
yeah,
like I'm just gonna I it, so it's hard. It's
yeah.
hard.
It's
It's
it is
hard.
definitely
And it took a lot longer. It took the like 3 years, like
like
the
they
book
say.
said. So yeah, and I'd love to follow up with you on
Yeah,
that.
for real.
Well, Rob, thanks for coming
Thank you.
on the show. Before you go, what are you doing with SIMA? You're doing something I've seen on LinkedIn. You're
Yeah,
in some.
so I'm just got elected to the board of directors of Snow and Ice Management Association. So this is my first year. It was one of those things. Email came across, and it was file it. I'll do it later. And I'm like, nope, you're doing it right now. Applied for it, got it, got interviewed, got it, and it's been a great experience so far. Some amazing people helping me change the way I think on some things. So it's a great group of people, and I'm excited. So it's just still figuring out the role. So
How much? What's the time commitment like?
so there's 3 in-person meetings a year and 2 virtual meetings, and then again, as much that's pretty much the requirements. There was a few things required at the show here, that they asked us to do, but I think it's like anything. You make you give what you can, but you could always do more. I mean, the goal is to help make the association, help make the industry better. So it's what you put into it. So, but so yeah, that's
Cool.
pretty
Well,
much
thanks
it.
for doing that. I know
Yeah,
it's a big
yeah,
commitment on your
yep,
part,
yeah,
and this association's amazing. I've
amazing.
interviewed a couple people who have been in it for like 25
Yep,
years, and
yep,
like one of the guys was the co-founder of it, Rick Kier,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
and
I wanted to meet him. I haven't got to meet him.
yeah,
So
he's great. So it's amazing what this has grown into,
yep.
and then people like you are pushing it forward.
Yep.
So
No.
thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Yeah, it's definitely like that was the group of people in this industry, like we were saying. That helped bring me out and realize like, oh man, this is amazing. So if I can help make it better, I'm gonna try. So
Cool. Well, Rob Miller from RPM Landscape Contractor. If people listening want to connect with you, what's the best way to do that?
all through LinkedIn. I love LinkedIn. Fell off a little bit with my posts the last couple months. I had a lot of work to do, but That's the best. I'll get right back to you. So.
Cool, man. Well, thanks for coming on the show. Hey, it's Jack Jostes. I hope you enjoyed this video. Make sure you like it and subscribe to our channel for weekly sales, marketing, and leadership inspiration for your snow and landscape company. And next, click the next video and I'll see you there.